Moving pictures show the way home.
Apple knows he's a donkey, and he knows he's got ugly ears, but I don't mind pointing that out on camera sometimes. And I think that, you know, the camaraderie that we have in life carries over the show.
When you know somebody as good as Cameron and I know each other, I mean, there's endless amounts of ammunition if we want to joke. I mean, I could talk about his hips, I could talk about his gray hair, I could talk about his age, I can talk about what his family's real last name is.
Like 3 name changes. Nice. They're trying to hide from who they really are.
You know, there's all kinds of things that I know about Cameron that nobody knows. I mean, I could talk about the sex toys I found when I helped him move one time.
You know, he's cage fighting now, and I like to give him a hard time about it because I know he would never punch me. But the kid's pretty gnarly.
Started off with bodyboarding, and we grew up riding BMX together, and then we rode some dirt bikes together. And you know, I've raced cars with him, and you know, we have a lot of the same interests. And I don't think that that's a coincidence. I mean, when you're around someone like that, you kind of take their lead. And you know, I could think of a lot worse people to take a lead from than Cameron.
And man, we used to hide his boogie board and torture him, and that's kind of the hierarchy, the way we came through the group. You know, the guys that were older than me tortured me, and so I think a lot of that, you know, the fact that we know each other so well, that we're as close as brothers, and we can talk crap to each other and be natural, and that's how we carried on the show. I mean, sometimes people are like, man, you guys are really at each other's throats, but we're really not.
Welcome to the Northwest, Seattle, Washington to be more exact. That's Cameron Steele. I'm Eric Apple, the better looking of the bunch, but hey, it's okay, we're gonna let him hang out for the night anyways.
We certainly have a great relationship. I mean, he's basically like a big brother to me. I mean, he's as close to a big brother as I've ever had and that I ever will have. So, I mean, we mess with each other. We can, you know, joke with each other, rib each other all day long, but we know, you know, when it really comes down to it, that we're in each other's corners no matter what.
We don't sugarcoat our relationship to each other, and we give the real deal when we're talking on the phone. I mean, it's, you know, the broadcast that we do is legit. We know what we're talking about, and we're willing to throw it out there, and it's because Apple and I are basically 2 lame boogie boarders from way back when that used to, you know, have a good time riding waves, and now we're doing it in the booth.
Welcome to Amp'd TV, where we're bringing you live coverage of the Amp'd Mobile AMA Supercross Series.
First of all, I want to ask you, how is the haircut? Is it working? Is it a faux hawk? I mean, is it a weak effort?
It's a weak effort. It's definitely not a faux hawk.
Supercross information, interviews, and idiocy.
Definitely some idiocy. If Apple's here, he's an idiot professionally, so we expect stupid things to come out of his mouth.
Good-looking people outnumber the ugly people.
My boy Tinkerbell, well, Davey was calling him Bunny, right?
Yeah, but I was calling him Dad because he's pretty old. He's even older than you.
We're going to get another real announcer up here with me because, you know, Eric Apple is just subpar.
Check like this. And this guy's face. He's got the growth, he's got the cauliflower. Show him the ear. Come on. He's a cage fighter, people. He's stinky. I was at the Supercross in San Francisco, and I was over at the Amp'd Mobile truck, and I saw 2 guys holding hands.
Age limit to Supercross.
I mean, it's just make sure you have puberty, you know, like you're all ready to go.
If there's hair on the field, you can play ball?
Exactly, and then your balls are dropped and you get
Are you
after
doing the inspections, Apple? All right, guys, peace out, right? That's how you do it, Apple.
5,000 G.
One of my highlights is actually taking over and directing the show myself, and working with Cameron a lot and thinking of new things to portray on our show and make it more of an interesting broadcast.
Be creative, have an idea, and Casey just says, yeah, whatever, let's do it, you know? We're willing to risk it.
I actually got a phone call from Speed that they're interested in the half-hour pre-show that we made up. We started filming a 30-minute segment prior to the broadcast that we filmed during the day, and Speed got their hands on it, and they're actually interested in using some portions of our show, and that's really cool for me.
Hanging out with Casey every day is certainly a low point.
The high points for me, I mean, I always love going to Georgia to the Atlantic Supercross because there's lots of strip clubs there. That's a pretty good time.
Traveling with Amp'd, I mean, has given me the opportunity to go every weekend and travel to new areas of the United States and even up into Canada doing the Toronto and Vancouver stops.
One of the great things about, you know, working for Amp'd and covering Supercross every weekend live is, you know, I get to go to all these cities You know, and I really enjoy traveling and seeing the rest of the country and the rest of the world. I mean, we have 2 stops in Canada, and you know, I'd never been to Vancouver before. That was something that I owe to Amp'd. So, you know, Vancouver's a great town, and you know, I get to see all these places. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. But the thing is I get to experience, you know, all these other cities, and that's a part of my job, and you know, I'm thankful for it.
You get to see a bunch of different cultures and different ways of life, and really helps your social skills, you know, talking to people you don't know, going up and having to work with them.
You know, if I had to pick one highlight for the year, it would have to be seeing Ricky Carmichael, you know, win some races when he's going out. You know, they call him the greatest of all time. I still think McGrath is probably a better Supercross rider in the overall deal, but you know, just being around to see those guys. You know, I got to see McGrath last year. I got to see Carmichael this year. I got to see James Stewart win his first Supercross championship. Those are all pretty cool things. I don't know if I could just pick one.
Obviously, some of the low points is, you know, when we talk about it's good and it's bad, but I do have to work with Cameron every week. I got to carry the guy through pretty much every on-screen chance that we have. You know, he smells bad. He talks too much. He tries to hog the mic, hog the camera, and you know, he's really not very good looking. We really should be focusing on me more. So.